All right, so I've had a few students reach out with questions about variables, so I thought I'd make a quick video explaining that. This is, if you go to lesson 1, prepare, and click on review Python, it brings you to this page. And this is the variables. This part is covered in 0.5. The questions have been about strings and numbers as variables. So this software here is called Jupyter Notebook. It looks different from what you're using, but it works the same way. So this is when things are in quotes, like this is a quote, it becomes a string. So when we run this, A is going to become a string, and that string is going to be her name is, and B is going to become a string. This is the string is going to become, and when we add two strings together like that, this is a string, it's A, this is a string, it's B. When we add two strings together, Python's just going to put them next to each other. So all it did was take her name is, this is A, I'm going to put it next to Isabella. In programming, that's called a concatenation. That's not a word you need to know, but it is worth noting. On the other hand, when you put in numbers, this is 3, you know the number 3, this is the number 4. When you add those together, Python's going to recognize A is now a number, B is now a number. And when you add them, now it's going to work just like a normal math problem. So when we run this line of code, it's just going to do 3 plus 4, and that's 7. So when you add together two strings, it's just going to put them next to each other. When you add together two numbers, it's going to actually add them like you would expect. The one place this can get tricky, and I'm actually not sure this is going to pop up in the classwork, but this is a good thought exercise. If you understand this, then you've got a good understanding of what's going on. When we put these in quotes, oops, now they're no longer numbers. Even though we can read that as a number, we know this is the number 3 and we know this is the number 4. Python does not know that now because now it's in quotes. Now it thinks it's a string. So when we add these together, what happens when you add together two strings? Just puts them next to each other. So it did not do 3 plus 4. It did 3 next to 4. The other way to make strings that I should mention really quick is if you put them in this str function. So this will do 5 as a string, 7 as a string. What happens when you add together two strings? Just puts them next to each other.